You know, it comes to packing up to go on a journey, and it's the last minute for me, everything in. And then she will phone me up and say, Paul, did you really mean to leave those shirts on the side? Are you having to buy more new shirts? Yeah. I try not to cause her any more stress than I have to. Vibrant health. This went through a slow period, but now it's going again, and we did a reprint of it this last year. Guide to Parenting by Dr. Brown from, he's the president of the Bermuda Conference there. Guide to Parenting by the same man. These are books that you've had, and we're just coming now to the end of the presentation. Single and Gifted. Someone said to me yesterday, we don't have this. We need it now. We need more of them. You know, people are crying out for it there. And this was produced specifically at a request from Africa. They said you produce books for the married people, like Total Marriage, but we have so many people in Africa who are single. And so that's how we came to produce Single and Gifted. Total Marriage again by Dr. Brown and his wife. Then we have a range of children's books which are coming. My Bible Counting Book. These are new books which are coming in April of 2010. We have quite a large range because, you know, our young people, our children need books. A Fishy Tale, a story about Jonah. Someone was saying to me yesterday, Paul, we can tell that you're a grandfather because, you know, the Stambra Press is now producing a lot of books for children. And yes, we are, but then we have an editor whose sole responsibility is to produce children's books. Lost Little Larry is the story of a lost little lamb. It's a cardboard cutout book, cutout shapes. Giant Boots is written by one of our Australian editors. Books for the older young people. Books, story books with a good moral to them that will help them as they go through life. Then we have some other products. This is Paul's Life and Journeys, a little folder that you open it up and it's got 6 individual books in going through the journeys of Paul, the Apostle Paul. Saying Thank You to God, a book on tithing and offerings. It goes through the principles of it for young people, for children. And that is saying thank you to God. Sam and the Apricot Tree, a storybook, but giving a good moral lead to the young children. I know when we get a manuscript, I will quite often take them home to my grandchildren so they can go through them first to tell me what they think of them. I looked at the artwork in this and I said, what is this? But you know, it's artwork as children would do. And so, you know, we try to have books that are going to appeal to the children in the way which they are. I'll let it run. People tell me my time is up, but you know, the situation is that the DVD's running and it'll run through for another couple of minutes there. That gives you the range of the small books which we've had. As I said, we now have 56 books in this series. We print them 500,000 at a time. In fact, this last print run was some 600,000 copies. The reason that we're doing these books is so that we have books which are going to meet the needs of the people. We have millions of people we need to reach. We need to find books. We need to have books like the missionary book of the year, when God says, remember. We need to have Steps to Christ. Books that are going to make a difference in people's lives. I'm thankful that we've had the opportunity to spend a little time with you today. As I said, you will be getting some complimentary books, but my time has gone. May God bless you as you continue to witness for Him. We're going to leave the display up so you can have a look. We've got a lot more books here we haven't actually displayed. You can see what we've got. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Indeed, they are the oldest publishing house, I think, in our division. This time is for Zambia Adventist Press. I just want to make some statements before we make our presentation. We are so many in Zambia, and by that I mean we have different languages that are spoken in Zambia, and that by itself is a challenge because we have to print for all the languages that exist. And because of that, of late, we have started repositioning ourselves as Zambia Adventist Press as a way of meeting the demand that is there in the country from so many people. And this repositioning is not just for Zambia alone. We want to reach as many people as possible, both far and near. As a way of trying to achieve our goal in that line, we established an editorial department which did not exist, which is headed by our able lady, Mrs. Chibende, and she's going to give our presentation. Our publications that we are embarking on now, our program and intention is to ensure that we cover the entire SID region. It's not just for Zambia. We want to become another force to reckon with when it comes to publishing of books. So for now, because of limited time that we have, I just want to ask Mrs. Chibende to make a presentation as much as I call for your attention, and I'm sure it's something that's going to make us see that indeed Zambia Adventist Press is also doing something in this region.
I hope I'll be able to operate this thing, that it won't mess me up like it did my colleague. Hello, everybody. That was nice. I expected a down reply, but that was really nice. As I was looking through the songs that we have been singing, I realized there's a metaphor that is running through all our songs. We see ourselves as soldiers. Isn't that true? Yes, we see ourselves as soldiers in a battle. When you look at hymn number 6, we say, "Ye Christian soldiers, arise." When you look at hymn number 9, we say, "Come join the bookman army." When we look at number 13, we say, "I am the winner. Like a soldier in the army, I am set for war." When you look at number 14, we say we are in a conflict of life. And I'm like, are we soldiers? What are we fighting? What are we fighting? What are we fighting? The devil. Yes, we are fighting the devil, that's for sure. What's our ammunition? Books, 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 and more books. And I can't express my gratitude that you have so many books. Safilis came here and showed you lots and lots of books. Stanbrook Press came here and showed you lots and lots of books. And here comes Zambia Adventist Press. We are going to show you also books and books and books. I don't think there's any soldier who can complain that I have too much ammunition. Does that ever exist? No. Imagine if you were a soldier and all you had was an what do they call it? I can't even say the name. AK-47. Or all you had was a hand grenade. Or all you had was the helicopter flying above you. You would be very incapacitated. But the whole point of having so many publishing houses is to make sure that we have enough supply for everybody. And I think we deserve an amen for that. Amen. That was weak, but thank you for saying it anyway. We are going to go through the products that we have at Zambia Adventist Press. As you can see, we have a book called The Healing Wonders of Plants. This is our master book. It has done exceptionally well. Our friends from Zambia can vouch for you that we have done an exceptional job with the book, Healing Wonders of Plants. Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate that. It is a book like no other book. Have you ever seen a health book that tells you that okra is medicine for your body? A book that tells that cabbage is medicine for your body. A book where when you open, almost every page you know the plant. Some of those plants are weeds that you're pulling out of your garden. You don't even know that is medicine. And when we look at Healing Wonders of Plants, we're like, wow, God is so good. Even that which we call weeds are actually medicine. That's the book, Healing Wonders of Plants. I think every literature evangelist in Africa ought to have a copy of Healing Wonders of Plants. For your own information, we printed, I think it was 15,000 copies. And you know what? They're gone. Completely gone. We don't have even a single copy. And literature evangelists in Zambia are on our case, saying, we want this copy. And I'm here to announce to you that we are bringing it back. Of course it was, yes, it's coming. It was a 2009 stock, but it's carrying on into 2010. Healing Wonders of Plants, the special features about this book is that it shows plants that you know. I've dealt with books that deal with medication. Oops. I've dropped this thing. Try to put it back. The plants are plants that you are familiar with. And just in case you're not sure, there's a picture of the plant. Just in case you're not sure, there's a description of the plant. Just to make sure that by the time you go and touch that plant, you know what you're touching. Then it tells you how to use that plant, step by step, clearly explained. And then it tells you which part of the plant to use. I've heard so many people tell you, lemons, the lemon tree is great for coughs. The lemon tree is great. What do I use? The roots, the leaves, the fruit? What is it? But when you go to Healing Wonders of Plants, it tells you the specific part of the plant that you're supposed to use. And the good news is there is even a dosage. How about that? Yes, there is a dosage. You don't have to second guess, boil a whole lot of leaves and then drink a whole gallon of whatever it is. No. You go and check for specific instructions. If it's 1 cup, you take 1 cup. If it's a teaspoon, you take a teaspoon. That's Healing Wonders of Plants. We have redone this book. It's also a 2009 stock. Happiness in Marriage. How many of us know this book? But I have news for you. This is a timeless book. It never gets old. It has, I think, some of the best information on marriages, starting right from dating all the way to old age in marriage. But what we have done is we have decided to contextualize it, to put African images in the book, to try and help our readers see themselves in the book, to try and lure those readers who are reluctant to buy our books. So you find that in the book, we have images of young African men, young African women, and even married men and women from Africa. And that in itself is a special feature. It's obviously a 2009 stock. We still have it in stock. So we are hoping that when you're done with our presentation, your publishing directors will come and consult us so we can supply them with some copies. We have started a project which is very exciting. It's called the Society Magazine. People from Zambia know much about it. You can wave to show me that you do. Thank you very much. You know, there are so many magazines floating around. And because we don't have good magazines, we end up reading a lot of junk magazines. Am I lying? That is just the truth. Many people don't like to buy a book because it's too big, it's too expensive for whatever reason. But when you offer a magazine at a price which is less than $2, you're most likely going to at least talk to 1 or 2 people. So Society Magazine is a magazine that is meant for the African reader. As you can see, our lead story in this particular issue was juju, charms, and love potions. Have you ever heard of those words? Maybe in South Africa you don't know. Do you know about juju? Do you know about love potions? Well, you need to buy Society. Then you know that maybe you have actually been drinking stuff with love potion in it. So Society Magazine, it's local, with local African content, but the whole point is we are trying to reach the reluctant readers. We are trying to reach those people who really don't want to spend money in buying books, but we want them to get to know the gospel. We want them to get to know Christ through this seemingly non-intimidating piece of work. We have another book which literature evangelists are very excited about. Those in Zambia already know about it. Daniel Reviews the Future. That is the most sought after book by literature evangelists. Am I lying? Maybe not in South Africa, but if you lay your hands on it, you will love it. It's there somewhere. My boss can show you. It's, you know, with the way the world is going, with global warming on everybody's lips, with all these objects that people are saying would hit into the earth at any time, with financial crisis and all these issues that are coming into our world, every normal person is asking, where are we going? What's happening? What does the future hold? And that's when the book Daniel Reviews the Future comes in. Because Daniel Reviews the Future points people to the future as it is presented in the Bible. And then the other book that we also have, I saw it in the South African bookshop, Miracles of Grace. When I first saw it, I thought it was just a book for literature evangelists. So I thought, well, I'm not a literature evangelist, so I'll just put it aside. But the good thing is I love reading. So I grabbed the book and I started reading it. I was like, wow, this is a great book. It's a great book for personal devotion. It's a book that you can use with devotion with your family. It's a book that you can read even traveling from point A to point B. It is ideal for your spiritual growth, and you can sell it to your customers. I'm hoping that literature evangelists are not just buying it and keeping it. It is a great book. I'm not a literature evangelist, as it were, but I love the book. And I've always said, I don't mind giving my friends that as a gift, and I think this Christmas I'll buy some to give some as a gift. It is a great book. The next book that is coming, now we are moving into the 2010 supplies, is Revelation of Things to Come. I know people in Zambia are really excited about that. It is a partner of Daniel Reveals the Future. Again, it's the same issue of what does the future hold? Where are we going? Is it true that this world is going to just end one day? And for those people who don't want to read the Bible, this is one entry for them to start reading these books that will eventually lead them into the Bible. It is a book that appeals both to intellectuals, to non-religious people, to religious people, to the old and the young. Revelation of Things to Come is a book that opens up the minds of so many people to the reality of heaven. We move on to the next book. Yes, we do have Healing Wonders of Plants, Volume 3 and 4. How about that? I am sure you're like me. You know, you go through Volume 1 and 2, and you see all these plants, and you get so excited. But you still walk in your garden, and you say, but I haven't heard about this plant. What does this plant, what's the medicinal value in this plant? So we still have a lot of plants that are in our backyard, that are in our maize fields, that we pull out as weeds, that are actually very medicinal. So that is exactly what's coming in Healing Wonders of Plants, Volume 3 and 4. I am very excited about this project, and we can't wait to bring them right to your doorstep. More familiar plants, more natural remedies. We move on to 2010 supplies, Widows of the Old Testament. You know, death is a cruel reality in Africa. Whether we like it or not, we have been touched one way or the other by the HIV scourge. And you know somebody who has been touched. And we have so many street kids at every corner of our streets. We have so many women who have been widowed, and we don't know how to minister to them. I know there are a few books that have come on the market that talk about loss of a loved one, surviving grief, but we have sought a book that addresses a specific need, the widows. And for me, I find it very comforting that when I don't know what to say to someone who has been widowed, I can present a book. I remember a testimony that was given by someone from Malawi who took a book to a president who had lost a wife. And you remember what happened? He wrote back to say thank you. So we are really excited about this product because we know that you will put it to good use, that our widows will not wallow in self-pity and think that's the end of the world, but they will know that there's a Jesus out there who cares. We have another book coming up that's also a 2010 product. Maybe you didn't see the Passionate Love there. The title is called Passionate Love. And I want you to read the full title of the book. Can you see it? What does it say? Passionate love, the hard stuff of loving your wife, and the nasty idea of submitting to your husband. If you're honest with yourself, you know that is just the truth. Men are naturally so selfish, they don't want to love their wives, and women are naturally so stubborn, they don't want to submit. And this author, I think that's the truth, isn't it? Yes, I'm a woman, I know I'm stubborn, but I have to submit because the Bible says so. This book candidly looks at God's requirement for marriage. Men to love their wives, wives to submit. It's a practical guide for husbands to know how to love your wife the way Christ loved the church, and also a guide for wives to submit to their husbands. You know, this is a must read for all those who are already married, and you can sell it for those who are contemplating to get married. It's especially good for African men who are brought up in a culture that sometimes teaches men not to love. Isn't that true? Yes, I've heard rumors here and there that say an African man needs to beat his wife once in a while to show her that he loves her. Have you ever heard that? That is cruel, I think. But this book addresses issues like that. That from an African background, what are some of the challenges men face in trying to love their wives? And then also women. The unfortunate thing is, now that I'm educated, now that I have a job, now that I have a life, it's very hard to submit because I think I don't need this guy. I think I can make it on my own. But this book is going to put me right in place to teach me that I still have to submit because God says so. We have another book, that's another 2010, that's coming next, hopefully the first quarter of next year. Enjoy Your Marriage. This is a masterpiece. It's a 2-volume book. It looks at all the traditional teachings in the African culture. You know those initiation ceremonies that we do in the dark corners of our villages? Yes, we go into those initiation ceremonies and we say, what's in there that is really good for marriage? And what's in there that is not good for marriage? And we look at the advantages and disadvantages of some of these African things that we teach that maybe are not good for us after all. So we have a lot of cultures. Even South Africa is involved in there. We have some interviews from Lesotho, from Botswana, from as far as Kenya and Tanzania, to try and understand the African mind as far as marriage is concerned in relation to what the Bible requires. The next book that we have is a 2010 stock, is The Impossible. Are you paying attention? Is The Impossible? Have you ever faced a challenge in life that looked so impossible and you were so sure it was impossible, but when God moved, it became possible? And that's exactly what we are talking about in this book. This is a book that is built on the backdrop of, I'm going backwards, I'm sorry about that. It is built on the backdrop of the story of David and Goliath. Goliath was an impossible task, but when God moved in, what happened? Goliath was defeated. And this is a book for all human beings who are facing challenges in life, unless you don't live in this world. But if you do in this world where I live, you have a lot of situations that face you right here and claim they are impossible. But this book will teach you how to surrender all those cases into the hands of the Lord and make God turn them into possibilities. It's a must read for all. Then, of course, we have our trade literature. I really don't think there's anything wrong with people from Zimbabwe coming to buy Tonga hymn books from Zambia. Is there something wrong with that? No, because there are Tonga-speaking people in Zambia. Is there anything wrong with people from Namibia coming to order their Lozi hymn books from Zambia? No, there's nothing wrong with that. And like Mr. Kabanda said, the whole idea is, let's be a force. Let's work together as a team. If I have this product and you have that product, I get from you and you get from me. At the end of the day, we have our ammunition in place for us to go and face the enemy. So under our trade literature, we have that. That is continuous literature that's going on. We want to say a special thank you to South African Union Publishing House. They gave us the rights to print the little hymn book called the Advent Hymn. We are very excited, and I know people in Zambia have been asking and asking and asking. The good news is our sister, our brother here in South Africa, they have the vision. They are keeping the vision alive. And they have told us, it's okay, go ahead and print it. And we are definitely going to print it. First quarter of next year, you're going to have supplies of Advent Hymn. Trade literature, we still have a lot of trade literature coming up. The Manual Bible Doctrine, there is nothing wrong with South Africans getting Manual Bible Doctrine from Zambia. Is there something wrong with that? No, it's the same Bible, the book that we use for Bible study classes. What do you call that? Baptismal class. Yes. Adult Sabbath School study guides. Some of our sister companies once in a while don't print, and we share. Teacher Sabbath School study guides, we always print those and we always have them in plenty. We also print in Tonga and Bemba. I know Zimbabweans have Tongas, so you might want to get some from us. Children's study guides. Do you know, I have lived in Zimbabwe, I've lived in Malawi, I've lived in Zambia. You hardly ever go to a church and find children with study guides. Children are singing and singing and singing until they start crying. And then even the Sabbath school teacher now has to teach with a stick. Because, you're expecting the kids to enjoy nothing. You're not providing anything. And then the kids are supposed to enjoy. And I am one of those people who are very passionate about this. If you want your children to be anything in life, train them up when they're young. They get pregnant, you want to blame them. Hello? Did you teach them anything when they were young? No, you didn't. You were too busy during the week at work, and you were too busy on Sabbath, or you didn't want to spend money. We have the whole range of children's study guides. Every quarter we faithfully print. Beginner, we have kindergarten, we have primary, we have PowerPoint, we have, and Cornerstone, we have. There's really no excuse why our children should perish. I am really passionate about it. And what I love is that there are many literature evangelists, at least I can speak for Zambia because that's where I come from. They know that it's not about the big money. It's not about being credentialed. It's about saving souls. I see so many literature evangelists coming to our office to say, my customer needs a study guide. And they don't make a lot of money out of the study guide, but they are doing their mission, which is evangelism. They'll come and say, my customer needs a hymn book. Or I want to go and give one of my customers a gift of a children's book. And I always say to myself, bless your heart. Because the literature ministry, like we've heard again and again from Elder Fagayo, from Pastor Mwansa, it's about saving souls. The money is secondary. And here we are. Here are the books. I remember the story Elder Fagayo said one time here, one of these days, where he was saying there was a young man whose sales were not moving on okay. And he insisted, open your briefcase so that I see what's in there. And he resisted, left, right, and center. I said, I won't pray until you open. And when you opened, what was in there? Lotions and perfumes. And I know there are many people doing that. Once in a while, they will tell you they don't have books. But I think we have since moved beyond that. I think books are now available. So we can take out all those MAC powders and the Avons and I know in Zambia there's also a move of real herbs now. They become real doctors. That's not our mission. Our mission are the books. Like Mr. Kabanda said, our passion really is for us to grow. To really grow, to supply all that we can supply. It's like music. When you hear there's a new musician on the scene, you don't say, but they've sung all the song. Have you ever felt like that? No. Every book is different. Every book serves its own purpose. So the more books we have, the better we have. There's that motto that came from Zimbabwe which says, more books, more souls. And we say, more publishing houses, more books. More publishing houses, more books. And more books, more souls. I really pray that we will hang on to, again, what Pastor Fagayo said. I really heard it, where he said, sorrow is looking back and saying, oh my goodness, we never used to have books in Africa. Oh, you can cry all you want about the past. He said that's sorrow. And then worry is about looking around and saying, how come we only have 2 color machines? We don't have all the machinery. No, at ZAP we have faith. You remember what faith does? Faith looks ahead. And at ZAP, that's exactly what we are doing. We are looking so far ahead that if you are not careful, you'll never catch up. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Chibende. My appeal is to all the unions in SID, the HHES/ABC, that please, with this presentation, what we have shown you, consider ZAP to be one of your suppliers. Thank you.